Hey folks, it's your old pal CLG. Just gonna give you another little view of downtown St. Paul since I don't have any ham radio content. So I'm downtown here. We're starting at the Landmark Center, and supposedly the Landmark Center has history. St. Paul used to be a place where the mob would come to hide out. Chicago, Philadelphia, even New York, they'd come here. I think Al Capone was probably here. Just to hide out from the feds back in the 20s and 30s, probably even the 40s. So there's a history. Landmark Center was, I think, a courthouse. And some people also think that Alcoholics Anonymous meetings started in this building. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's some old history. Right in front of me, this is Mears Park. This is a kind of a park downtown. You can sit and chill out. And then there's the Ordway, pretty popular. Also Garrison Keillor, Prairie Home Companion. I think he was at the Ordway, or right behind it is the Roy Wilkins Auditorium. This may have been the Roy Wilkins Auditorium, I'm not sure. So, a little history from downtown. So Mears Park has been rebuilt and completely redone. It was a big, I don't know, it was like a hub for waiting for buses coming down. I believe that's 5th Street there. But it was also like a homeless shelter. It was out of control. Not a homeless shelter, but if you're homeless, there's a lot of people sleeping around town on the streets around here. It's just the way it is. But today it looks pretty darn good. And we're gonna take a little walk through around the outside of Mears Park. Grass is so green today. Right in front of me is the main St. Paul Central Library. This is another kind of a landmark building. It's a really cool library. I think that's a library, yeah. And it's really an old school, it's got some history here, but as you can see, Mears Park is, or it's called Rice Street Park now, not Mears Park anymore. I don't think I forget what it's called. So it's really nice. It's a nice, park to come and just chill out. Nice hotels, big ass buildings. But yeah, the library and Mississippi River is that away. I'm gonna go down there real quick. I don't have too much time. So like a lot of cities like New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, I've been to New York a few times. There's not too much green, you know, pretty concrete jungle. St. Paul and Minneapolis as well, there's always green around, you know. So that's the thing. And today is a really fantastic day weather-wise. You just can't beat it. Okay, let's continue. See if we can just get a shot over the bridge looking at the Mississippi River. Yeah, I mean, it's, I kind of feel fortunate that I'm here, you know. It's a really decent place, and I finally got myself set up in a, you know, with the condo and where I live so that I can basically just enjoy myself here until I retire and beyond. And it's a great place to live. We have a couple of really good ham radio clubs here as well. I'm not much into the clubs, but you know, there's a lot of that going on here. I wish we had a store here in Minneapolis that sold ham gear, but someday maybe. Okay, now we're gonna cross Kellogg. Just get a look at the Mississippi River real quick. And
wait.
Really loud ass signs. So here's Kellogg. As you know, Kellogg cereal. There's a history of flour processing here back in the day here, especially, well, Minneapolis, St. Paul, because of the river. You know, a lot of businesses were along the Mississippi River back in the day because a lot of trade was run up and down the river. And Kellogg, don't really know the history completely, but Mr. Kellogg, I forget where the main cereal manufacturing stuff started, but there's some history here. And if you kind of go on YouTube and read about him, he was kind of a weirdo. Like Kellogg was trying to, this is back in the early 20th century. Kellogg and Henry Ford thought they could kind of control the population by their own values. I mean, they were nuts. You know, Ford was an anti-Semite, you know that. I mean, look it up. Kellogg was kind of whacked out too, but that's the way it was back in those days, in 1900s. I think socialism and communism was also kind of a popular idea back then. They were just thought weird back then. It was a different time. Let's take a little look across the bridge here. Here we are. There's the Mississippi. Behind me is St. Paul. Let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look here. So you can see we got these paddle boats down here. You can actually, what do you call it, rent one of these and do parties on the river. One of my local AA groups called Friends in Recovery, they do a boat ride on a paddle boat every year. You know, it's like 20 bucks. You get on the boat with all your friends. There's food. There's people walking around playing banjos like it's the 19th century. It's pretty cool. So that's that. On the good old Mississippi. So the main post office used to be here too. Used to be, I don't think it's here anymore, maybe, but it used to be like, this is Kellogg. So it was the old school post office. You could walk in, it's just like you're walking back in time. Minneapolis has one too, the main branch. It's just so much fun to walk in there because it's like you're going back in time, you know, it's old. It's like you're in 1940 again when you walk in there. But anyway, somebody motoring down the river there. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun here. And our weather today is pretty nice. It's not humid yet because it's early summer. But just for your information, Minnesota gets really humid. It's probably not quite as bad as New England and Atlanta, Georgia, down there. I've been in those places. It gets really humid there too. But we get heavy humidity and high heat. So air conditioning is a must. Well, it's not a must, but screw it. Air conditioning is the way to go in this place. Minnesota's not frozen all the time. We do have some weather. Snoopy! And I forget the name of the bird. Charles Schultz. Charles Schultz, I believe, was from St. Paul. He died a while back, I believe. I think, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not going to Google it. You can do it. But, so Snoopy, this Red Baron deal here. Peanuts gang. He was a big deal here in St. Paul, and a lot of these kind of monuments or statues or whatever, carvings, whatever. There's a bunch of these that were around at one time. They're still around, and I think they restored a lot of them, and they're kind of, you know, around town. Minnesota State Fair, I think there's a few over there. But Charles Schultz is another kind of an icon, St. Paul. Pretty sure he's from St. Paul. And just a little walk down Kellogg here a little bit more. This is another cool thing. It's fun to go to the Science Museum right there. This is a great place for kids to go. They have a lot of little experiments and mock-up things you can do for a kid. And also the big, huge Omni Theater with a gigantic dome screen is in there. And I've seen some movies there. It's really cool. So me, you know, I'm kind of into machinery and all this kind of stuff. My job is doing mechanical design for engineering companies. So I'm always looking at stuff like this, as well as ham radio antennas. But big giant machines running here is always something I'm checking out. Looks like we got a chiller. Big chillers over there. I think this is part of the utilities for St. Paul. It's part of the Xcel Energy, and there's the bridges over there. So, and let's not forget the world-renowned Mickey's Diner. This is another St. Paul landmark. I don't think this place is running anymore, but if you want to come here, it's right on 7th Street. And have a cup of mulligan stew, or as the Irish say, mulligan stew. This place was the best. This place is famous. It's been on the Food Network, Food Channel, but do not believe it is running anymore. So So there you go, folks. Little walking tour of St. Paul from the streets. The old pal CLG wishing you the best 73s and 24s, and have a good day. See you later.